Good evening, everyone. I hope you all had a good Easter weekend or Easter Saturday anyway. The three or four of you who's gonna watch this. Mine was pretty damn good. My wife did an amazing job. She hosted the Easter party here. I was at work. I had to go to work today, but I came home. And yeah, everybody was having a good time here. My in-laws were here. My mother and father-in-law, my brother-in-laws, my sister-in-law, bunch of kids, bunch of eggs hidden everywhere. And then we ended up watching UFC. Um, really quick, let me share my thoughts on the UFC event. Um, yeah, Israel Adesanya, he did a good job. He regained his title. If you don't watch UFC, that's fine. But yeah, Israel Adesanya, he's a good fighter. I don't watch it that much either. I used to. I watch it a lot, but not anymore. I do know that dude's name, Alex Tejeda, also a good fighter. But yeah, Israel Adesanya went in with a plan and he executed it well. You can tell he had it planned out. Like he worked hard. I think. I mean, I ain't no fighting expert, but it just looked like he had it planned out and it worked out for him, man. Good for him. On an, on a more sour note, let me also say, fuck you, Jorge Masvidal. Fuck Trump. Fuck Ron DeSantis. Fuck Dana White. Fuck them all. If you watched this last UFC pay-per-view, you know what I'm talking about. I'll leave it at that. But anyways, let me get into my political rantish thing. Political thoughts. Lately, you know what happened in Tennessee? This trans person, I think it's a trans man, whatever. It's a girl. She had gender dysphoria, and I think she identified as a her pronouns were he and whatever. I mean, she's a shooter, man. I'm not anti-trans, but she's a freaking shooter. I really mislabeling her or him is the last of my worries. Anyways, ever since that happened, already given anti-trans bigotry is up now on the right side of the sphere, on the Republican side, conservative side here in America. Also, the calls for reasonable gun regulations are up there again, and the debate is up all over again. And it's just gonna happen again. I mean, it sucks that I and so many people are so numb already to this kind of stories. They just happen so damn often, and so yeah, it's like, yeah, we're upset now because more children died, and chances are nothing's gonna change. But anyhow, right now, what's happening in Tennessee is this really isn't much about the tragic shooting, although it is what started all these protests going on in Tennessee anyway. And so just on the surface level of what I'm just giving you the surface level of what I've seen, the news that I've seen coming out of there. You probably know them already if you're a political junkie like I am. But so this other tragedy happened again. Evil tragedy, evil doing by the lack of gun regulation and lack of health care, really lack of mental care for our people. Anyway, so that happened. That triggered protesting. Uh, Pretty much gatherings in Tennessee's was it their capital, whatever. Whole lot of young people, mostly out there demanding gun reform, gun regulation, gun safety law, whatever you want, however you want to call it. I just saw a video, like a 22-minute video of Kamala Harris speaking there about the Tennessee Three, I think they call these three this state representatives in Tennessee that got expelled, or two of them got expelled. The third one almost did, but didn't. Uh, a lot of people think there was a racial component to it. If you're familiar with it, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, but that's not really what I'm talking about, what I want to focus on either. But yeah, just know that people think the two people that got expelled, two black guys, the person that didn't get expelled is a older white lady. I think she's in her 60s, just to get it right. And yeah, she thinks also that's because of race. But anyways, so that's going on. These guys, they get expelled, and the reason was because they joined the protesters, I believe, and spoke out at them. The protesters were in the Congress, I guess, of Tennessee State Congress or Assembly, whatever you call their building there. Like I said, demanding gun safety legislation. Uh, these three Tennessee lawmakers, all three of them Democrats, they joined the protesters. Um, they speak out. They speak at the protests, and the legislators are on the other side of the door in the chamber. Doing whatever they're doing. Anyways, they get expelled. They get voted out by the chamber for that reason, for practicing their First Amendment right to protest, really peacefully. I would say a peaceful protest too. So that happens. These two young black men, or one of them's black, the other one might be another race, but he looks also a black man. He looks black, anyways. But so yeah, they get expelled, and I've seen videos already of the protesters in the lobby, I guess you can call it, of this Congress in Tennessee, this state Congress in Tennessee. You can hear the kids just chanting, F you fascist, fuck you fascist, F you fascist, tan 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 tan. Clap, 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 fuck you fascists. And so that's really what I want to focus on. I see it on Twitter. A lot of, I guess, older Republican Twitter users, they're complaining about the younger generation, the Generation Z, Gen Z, Zoomers, whatever you call these kids, and whatever other younger generations are in. Uh, I remember when I used to be called a younger generation, the millennials. That's what we are, people my age group, and we're not really that young anymore. But millennial sounds cool anyway. Sounds, makes you sound young. But I'm pushing 40. I'm gonna be 40 soon. But anyways, so really, this video is really for young people, man. You know, those of you that just became voting age in your 20s, 18 years old and up, early 20s. Really, this video is for them. If at least one of them happens to see it, mission accomplished. So I'm reading these comments on Twitter from older Republicans, even millennial Republicans, and they're complaining 10 ways to heaven about the younger generations that are gonna be voters, and all these people are gonna ruin the country. They don't know what it's like to work, and they're too sensitive, and et cetera, and they're too authoritarian. They have the balls to call anybody authoritarian. You belong in the Republican Party. You should have shame to even accuse anyone else of being authoritarian. But anyways, so I'm reading those comments, and then I see Scott Walker saying that, oh, the Democrats or the liberal left, whatever Scott Walker. You remember him, Scott Walker, by the way, uh, former governor of Wisconsin, I believe. Totally ruined Wisconsin working class. Totally screwed them with the whole right to work laws and just union busting. Anyways, he reappeared. I may probably Fox News. I can remember which network gave him some airtime. But yeah, there he is, echoing the same message. Oh, our young people, like he was uh he was lamenting the last election, like because younger voters went big time for the Democrats, in the last midterm elections. And yeah, I mean that's actually true. But he's like, oh, they have been indoctrinated, and they're being taught that hard work is just it's this that's what they do. They call people younger, whatever, people that don't agree with Republican ideology, they're lazy, they're authoritarian. It's all projection. They're moochers and welfare queens and woke people. Anyways, young people, this is a problem that I see with the whole younger generation, and it's really not a problem. It's actually it's a problem, but it's a good problem, I guess. A lot of people, including us and the millennial people, and the Zoomers and generations younger, beyond that, a voting age anyway, we have woken up, like, to the Democratic Party BS. We see how they are till this day, Biden, anyways. How they talk a good game, but they don't follow it by action. They don't walk the talk. Um, so we see that, we get frustrated, and let's say millennials and Zoomers, we see that kind of shit. We get frustrated, and a lot of us, we won't vote for Republicans, but we won't vote for Democrats either. And I shouldn't say we, because I don't really think like that. I'm not of that mindset. But pretty much to young people, if you're that kind of person that you will never vote for a Republican, or it just doesn't. I never say never, but you feel like you never will vote because of how authoritarian this party is, how backwards thinking they are with the whole anti-trans ideology, the whole anti-wokeness ideology, uh, all this cultural war, cultural war obsession in that party. and wanting to cut Social Security and wanting to cut Medicare and whatever weak ass social safety net we have, the Republicans want to get rid of it. And so, yeah, I get it. You never gotta support those people. The thing is, where's your vote gonna go then? Couch party, third party, or shitty Democrats you have to hold your nose to vote for them party. And you listen, man. I learned a valuable lesson a few years ago, and so I don't really do this, not anymore anyway. I used to, but I don't voter shame. At least not in the last two elections. It's like it doesn't work, and so I'm not voter shaming you. I'll tell you what I do. I vote Democrat. I'm the one of those people that they say vote blue no matter who. Even though it gets harder and harder this time around, I don't know if I'm gonna do that because I live in a blue state anyway. So I can afford my moral code, if you want to call it, my ethics. I can afford to not vote for the Democrat here in Illinois, and he'll probably still win Illinois. But if I was in a purple state, not red, not blue, but one of those swing states, I probably more likely would vote for Democrat. That's what I would do. You don't want to do that? Okay. Uh, like I said, no voter shaming here. Vote your conscience. But please be aware of what's going on here. Be aware that just like Republicans, how they move their goalposts and they get more extreme every time. We've seen it with women. Overturn Roe v. Wade. Almost half the country now is illegal to get an abortion for women. And in some states, they want to give them the death penalty. And they want to put people that, if you give this woman a right to go get an abortion, even to a state where it's legal, they want to put that person in jail. That's just one example how extreme they get very quickly. How long has it been since Roe v. Wade was overturned? I would say less than a year. It's been less than a year. Has it even been 6 months? That's how far some of these Republican-controlled states are pushing it. Okay. Another example. I remember a few years ago talking about wokeness. Now they're passing legislation fighting wokeness, especially when we're talking about the LGBT community, especially within that group, talking about the trans community. It was only a few years ago when it was all talk, just talk. And wokeness was their cover. That was their veneer. Anti-wokeness, I guess. It was their veneer. And I remember complaining about the green M&M, complaining about comic books and gay characters in movies and etc. And now there's legislation all over the place, pretty much making it illegal to share that you're gay or trans, making it illegal for for children with gender dysphoria to seek uh, whatever medical attention is recommended, making it illegal for the parents to make that decision for their own children, even if they have doctors that might recommend, like they're talking to experts, they're talking to doctors, they're talking to psychiatrists, etc., etc. Parents cannot make that decision. Like they are threatening parents with taking away their children, taking custody away if they decide to consider gender affirming care whatever drugs the kids get uh, when they want to put them in transitioning or something. So just listen to the extreme, the whole those that don't say gay bill with Ron DeSantis. Remember when they were saying, "Oh, it's just kids. It's just it only applies to children K to third grade." And for a while, a few people were saying, I heard a few voices at least, and I was trying to help them get magnified. No, there's vague language in there where it can be applied to all the way up to age 18 if they want to. And guess what? They're talking about that now. I don't know if it's the thing now or they're just proposing it, but I think they're using that same bill that was supposed to be only for third grade to K to through third grade. Now they're thinking about making it illegal to teach anything regarding LGBT people or just letting them know that they exist all the way up to age 18. So this cat, my cat's right here. I'm just giving you all these little examples because I'm seeing the same trend happen now with younger people. I think we millennials are safe. I don't think they're gonna try to take our right to vote or make it hard for us to vote. Or maybe they might, but I'm more worried about Zoomers, those 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 21-year-olds who are in college. Watch your back, man. They are, like I said, I'm hearing all this complaining now about young people. How you young people, you Zoomers, the Gen Z people, are ruining the country. Just like the way they spoke about all these other groups, they're directing that kind of language to you. So it starts with talk with the Republicans. They start talking about you. Then they might start pushing legislation, and God knows how far they will go. They will try to. I would not be surprised if they start passing legislation making it illegal for 18-year-olds to vote. Wait till you're 21. Wait till you're 24. They might say. So younger than if you're 21 and younger, um, be vigilant. Go register to vote right now, just in case the thing is, even if you decide not to vote, if you decide to vote for your couch that day, stay in your couch. That's fine, but make sure you register to vote because they might be coming for you guys. And yeah, I would suggest vote for the Democrat, even though I know it's hard. But and you trust me, I like fighting Democrats. I'm fighting them right now during primaries. But when it comes to general elections, I do look at it differently. Vote how you want, but you don't want to vote for the Democrats, then don't vote. You want to stay in your couch, then stay in your couch, but be aware they're coming for your rights next. Or they probably will. Right now, it's just talk. Like I said, I hear Scott Walker. I heard other people in the past. It's just becoming more common now. I remember during Obama's years, they were complaining about millennials. They were saying the same shit about millennials. They're saying about the Zoomers. They were calling us moochers. They were calling us the me society, selfish people, etc., etc. You don't want to work for anything. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Bullshit kind of language. Um, and so I hear them talk about Zoomers. It reminds me how they used to talk about people like us when we were in our younger days. And yeah, I have heard. I can remember. I couldn't remember which freaking high-profile Republican faces have said this, but yeah, I think it was in Fox News about raising the voting age to your mid 20s because they don't like young people. They know young people tend to vote Democrat, even if they're hated, whatever. So sorry, my phone is so stupid. I swear to God, it just it cut off my video and it popped up some stupid website, and I don't know why it does it. I try to look through the settings, try to stop that shit, and I haven't been able to figure it out. I might have to just reset it to factory settings, but that's so annoying to do as well. But anyways, I was really done. I'm just gonna attach this video and really that's that's it. Watch your back, uh, young people, because like I said, man, I see the trend and they're gonna get more extreme. They might get more extreme and not be. They might not be just talk. It might be, uh, you know, legislation. And they're an authoritarian party. Though, what can I tell you? That's how authoritarians roll. In my opinion, I feel I deem them authoritarian, and I think they're fascist as well. And a lot of a good chunk of them, like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, they're not just authoritarian, not just fascist, but they're also theocratic. They want to apply the laws of their Bible on the rest of us, and pretty much, I guess, replace the Constitution with the Bible. I guess so. Pay close attention. Don't want to vote Democrat? That's fine, but just know how the math works. Understand how it works. When you don't vote against the Republicans, you might be giving them power, man. And Democrats, I guess a message for the Democratic Party: get your fucking act together, guys. Right now, um, it looks like younger people might vote for Democrats just because how cartoonishly evil the Republicans are. But man, this freaking Democratic Party establishment, I'm talking about Hakeem Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi, she's still there, Joe Biden, they like making it hard for themselves to retain the voters. And that's because they're corrupt. I think too many Democrats in leadership are too conservative or something. And so get your act together, Democratic Party, because this is not going to be forever, man. And virtue signaling and, lip service is not good enough. And I just don't know how they don't understand it. They like risking it all the time. Like they want to be slightly less bad, or slightly better than a fascist. And they're hoping young people or just people vote Democrat based on that normal, like people who are scared of Republicans. They're hoping, oh, well, at least they're not Republicans and they will cast their vote for the Democrat. And a lot of people don't think that way, man. A lot of people, they deem you just as bad, and really you make it hard to make a case for you. Democrats make it hard to show a clear difference, between them and the Republicans. Joe Biden, just to give you a few examples, he campaigned on giving the public option on healthcare. I haven't heard him talk about the public option at least once since he became president. Talked about canceling student debt up to $50,000. Kind of did 10, 20 for some, And it's not really a open and shut case because it's stuck in the Supreme Court right now, and there's a good chance it might get struck down. And if you pay attention to it, there was another legal way Joe Biden could have done this, where he might have had a better shot at making this happen and not let it be so time consuming. He chose the harder path. I'm just informing you there. He chose a path through COVID legislation when he had the 1965 Better Education Act. Maybe he could have taken that path and make it easier for him, but he chose a harder path. I don't know why. Maybe it could be because he's incompetent or not that competent, or he doesn't really want to give anybody this loan forgiveness, but he wants to give himself covered. Who knows, guys? But this is the little shit we're talking about here. Broke another promise on an issue that young people care about a lot, the whole climate issue, and no more drilling on public land, and he approves the Willow Project. And according to scientists, people who done crunch numbers, do the math, all the good that he did on green legislation, he pretty much canceled that with the approval of this project. This is why I'm supporting Marianne Williamson, really, or anybody to his left. But Marianne Williamson is the only one who had the guts who stepped up. So I'm Camp Marianne, at least for now. Afghanistan, ending the wars. Thank you. Pulled out the troops out of Afghanistan. Great. Even though it was a messy, great. Even though he should have, I don't know, done something to help the women on the way out, or the allies that we had, Afghan allies. He fumbled a lot, but at least he got us out. Great. And then he cancels that out by starving that country through sanctioning. And that's the shit we're talking about here. And it's like so depressing having to choose between that or freaking authoritarian fascist party on your right. And it's like, oh my God. I don't know if you heard this, but Trump, some story got leaked, or somebody got reported that Trump wanted plans. He was asking somebody for his advisors, I guess, to put together a plan to attack freaking Mexico. Are you kidding me? Speaking of which, AMLO spoke out in Trump's defense. I want to make a video on that eventually. Hopefully, I'll get another opportunity. But yeah, interesting. But yeah, Democrats, get your act together, man. Don't make it so damn hard for millennials and Zoomers and whatever other younger generations to vote for you. Jesus, man, deliver on something meaningful. And younger people, vote however you want, or don't vote at all, but be aware of the threat to your right. That's really it.